you had with McNamee before he got here, and I know it was just 3 kickoffs, but what did you think of his first American football game?
Yeah, you know, again, the longer you stay around, you come up with a first that you didn't ever have before. And he got off the plane. I'm not really sure what time it was, you know, the night of the day of the game, and did a good job for us. We interviewed him at the combine. He had a pretty good combine. He was in the top 5 guys that we had rated, some of the international players that had been over there in the Pathway program. And the communication back and forth has mostly been with Byron and been with Russ. You know, Russ did a good job of getting him here for us. We had him here earlier. I'm sure you've heard he had to go back, get the visa stuff taken care of, that he had a job, and then come back. So really, for just getting off the plane and going out there and trying to kick left and right, I thought he did a good job for us. He's got a good leg. He's a mature guy. He handled the, you know, the ambiance pretty good. So we'll see what the future brings. But field goal wise, we'll hopefully get him going here a little bit. He has to learn when to start and what the takeoff looks like. But it was good to have him out there. Plus, it kept kicks off of our guy. So that was the big thing.
Rich, Brandon's been remarkably accurate so far in camp. You just had the one day where he missed a couple, but what's been the key, do you think, to his just the groove that he's in, and how do you know, just sustain that for the whole year?
Well, it's obviously a credit to him, you know, and who he is. It's been sustained over a long period of time, you know. He has a pure stroke, as you will, and he knows what it is. So when it's a bad hit, he knows it before anybody else. When it's a good hit, he also, you know, he makes noises and all that. He knows it as well. So, but I give a lot of credit, and we've talked about that in here before, to the battery and the way in which those guys have a certain respect for each other and the way in which they're willing to work diligently at that particular task day in and day out. But, you know, he just has a pure stroke. He's in a really good place at this point in his career. And I just think, again, hopefully he's got himself in such good physical condition at this age that this will be sustained for a long period of time. But I think it all starts with him.
Rich, what did you think of just what Israel gave you on the kickoff returns, and what did you just think of him as sort of a prospect there with his approach?
Well, we thought he hit it, you know, and this scheme has become so different now over the last couple of years, and it happens so much faster. He did a good job of getting his balance right on the catch and then understanding what we're trying to do. And, you know, he hasn't been here that long, so he's been playing other teams for us as well in practice, and we'll see if we can up his reps when the next game comes. But we thought he did a good job of hitting it up in there, and he had that one big return and had made a guy miss on the same deal. So we're excited for the direction he's going in.
You know, what do you make out of Hardman's night? I mean, he's got a really good track record. Historically, it's been really good. And obviously, last night happened.
You know, the disappointing thing was the place that he was inside the 10 in practice. He's done a really good job with it. He's helped our young guys about making a fake away from the catch or being in position to block, you know, or letting it go into the end zone. So I'm hoping he was just trying to make too big of a play too early. But really the best decision would have been just make the play that's there. Make the fair catch on one or let it go and stay away from the one on the ground. So I'm expecting him to respond the right way and come back and have a good week.
Was he a little deep on the one that bounced and that he ended up?
I think he got himself flown a little bit, but I think the punt right before that, the guy hit a pretty good zinger over there out towards the boundary. So he was in the right place. I think he started drifting a little bit, and the ball kind of died on him a little. The point went up, and the ball kind of died. So I think he wished he would have left it alone, you know, and played the next play. But that's what happened. So just put our team in a bad position on both of those. Really gave up 7 points on both of those plays.
What do you advise on that? Because there still was quite a bit of room between, you know, there wasn't a defender near him when the ball, you know.
I think if you get a Sunday hop, you're going to play ball. He was in good position if he got the Sunday hop, but once he got that little bit of a funky bounce, you just got to do the best to get away from the ball. You know, he got squared up on it, but to your point earlier, I think we wish he'd have caught it in the air.
Rich, is that just a guy who's trying to make the team, trying to make a play, though, you think?
Yeah, like I said earlier, he knows he's in a battle. You know, he's been practicing really well. He's come back in good physical condition. He's made good plays in practice for us. And, you know, he's got some skins on the wall in this league. You know, he's made some big plays, and we're hoping he can do the same thing. We'll see how he responds this week. I think we're all expecting him to come back with a great grit and great fight to him and have a heck of a week.
In a perfect world, would you like to have somebody just focus on that return role? So Keyshawn, I know Keyshawn is all pro and all that, but because of their importance on offensive defense, would you like to have someone?
You know, I don't really know if I can live in a perfect world, but I'd say in my experience, usually you have to have players make the team and then find roles for them to play in the kicking game. You know, everybody talks about special teams. Your way of making the team is on special teams. The only chance you have to make team is on special teams. They have to be pretty good at their position as well in order to make the 53 and then to be on the 48 to dress and help us everywhere. So I've never really had a guy that just does that and does nothing else. So I think all guys have to be pretty good at the position they're playing to help us in all three phases when the game shows up.
Rich, what did you think of Daniel's night, and what do you think of his camp?
Well, that's kind of a twofold question. One, I think he's had a really good camp. Two, I just want Daniel to understand that we have really high expectations for his improvement in this particular season. So I think there's a lot that we could have done a little bit better, and then there was some really good, you know, punts as well. So I'll leave it at that.
He's had a big leg ever since he's gotten here. What do you think he's capable of, especially when you talk about that improvement this season?
Well, I think he's capable of being a really good player. I think his understanding of where we are on the field, I said it in here before, where are we in the field, what's the situation in the game, how's the returner playing you, what's your line, will you stay true to your line, what's the win. There's so many things going on, you know, that he has to become more aware of as the game is going on. You know, is he doubled on one side, singled on the other? Is it double on both sides? Is it a six-man front? You know, it's on and on and on. And then adjusting to a snap that might be just a little bit to his right or a little bit at his knee or a little bit at his number. And again, a lot of things that go on. But the expectation for him is the standard, and he has set the standard now. So he has to play above that at all times, and I think that's what we're going to expect from him.
Rich, what do you think of what Christian gave you? And what do you think allows him? He's obviously been doing it at such a high level with special teams for years. What is it about him or his skill set that's allowed him to?
Yeah, 3 tackles in the game. You know, in our time with him, he just has a knack in space of finding the ball. And I think he would have had 4 tackles, except the holding penalty was really against the guy that tackled him to the ground at the line of scrimmage. So I think it's a compliment to him and his ability to find the ball in space, know when to settle, know when to shoot, and make the tackle. So he also did a good job in protection, did a good job on kickoff return. So hopefully he can just keep playing well.
What can Simmons give you? I know you had him at gunner, or at least a couple times last
Who's
year.
that?
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, we played him 2 plays out there at Flyer, and you know, thought I did a really good job on the first one. On the second one, he could have stayed a little bit tighter in there, but we're asking him to do some things he hasn't done before in the kicking game to try to use his abilities to help all of us, and he's on the come, you know, but we played him a little bit on kickoff as well, and a couple, I think, 2 punt returns. So hopefully we'll up his reps in the kicking game as we get going.